This is my 2021 Hoover PortaPower commercial. I bought this brand new from Amazon in 2022 for my first vacuum after moving to New York City. I moved here about 3 years ago, and since I can't collect here, there's not enough room to collect, and is probably my the biggest con of living in New York for me personally is that I can't collect the vacuum cleaners. But I got this because I said this is going to be as close as I can get to having a collection with a single machine I can buy new. If I had to choose any vacuum in the world to have in an apartment, it would probably be an Electrolux Model G. But you don't really see them on eBay anymore. It's really interesting. Every once in a while I go and check to see what type of Gs are for sale, and they're all in bad condition at the wrong price. It's crazy. You used to see them every so often at thrift stores, even like 10, 15 years ago. And now, every time I go on vacation, I go to the Goodwill. Last time I was in Maine, I went to a few Goodwills, and nothing. Just like the Goodwills in Arizona and out here and in Maine are just not very good. It's too bad. But I love Bangor. Maybe one day I'll live in Bangor. But yeah, this is like as close as I can get. And I figured since it's a canister and it's portable and it has a shoulder strap, this would be a good machine for apartment living. It takes up a lot of storage space. And the first place I was living, I did have roommates. Now I have an inexpensive apartment deeper into Brooklyn. The major issue with it is that if you're living with someone that isn't particularly vacuum literate, or just not an aficionado. I don't know what the right phrase with that would be. But someone vacuumed up some sort of liquid here. And now part of the wand and the attachments are rusty. It came with the Hoover this multi-surface tool. It's probably been out for at least 30 years, if not more. A hard floor brush, but I can't use it anymore because someone vacuumed something up with that. The traditional Hoover upholstery tool, the dusting brush, and the crevice tool. And they all use the old school. This is probably the last remaining Hoover that uses it. The clip-in. The plastic clip. And I will also note that while you can get an adapter, it is a shakeout bag. And sometimes that is gross. I'm speaking specifically about insects. Sometimes there's a bug in your house. Sometimes there's a cockroach in your house. And you gotta vacuum it up. And you gotta see it. And it's really gross. Is it better than a bagless stick vac? Because that's what the majority of people have out here. Is they have either mostly the Sharks, because they're more inexpensive, or the Dyson rechargeables. And I don't want them. They don't interest me. There's really not that many vacuums on the market that interest me on the retail side. A lot of the old school brands I still follow, and the Central Vac brands I still follow. But I just like having a Dyson in my house isn't going to bring me joy. And they have an expiration date on them because they have to, the batteries are going to degrade. Doesn't matter how much you use it, the batteries are going to degrade. And so 5 years from now, I'm sure a lot of these Dysons won't be working, but the PortaPower will. So, the question is the Hoover PortaPower too much for a New York City apartment? One thing about the PortaPower is that it has a long commercial cord, which is definitely useful in commercial settings, but is not necessary for small situations. And it's actually, it gets in the way. It's just the cord gets in the way. Now this sounds like an advertisement for the cordless machines. But, you know, if you had, I think this is at least 35 feet. If you have a 35-foot plus cord in a 3-room apartment, including the bathroom. That includes the bathroom. It gets in the way. Okay, excuse the messiness, but there's one wall. That's my 20x20 fan with a air filter on the back of it. If you do that, if it's a MERV, I think a MERV 11 or 12 or higher, and you put it on a 20x20 fan, the furnace filters, it is as good as a HEPA air purifier, if not better in certain situations. And there's the other side. And there's my Hoover Model 700 poster. This is essentially the living room. You want to see how quickly I can do this? Oh. Okay, see, now I have to turn around. There's the cord. My shoes. Apologies. Aye. And I'm done with the living room. Okay, here it is on a rug. Are you ready? Okay, number one. It's just not the optimal tool for this rug specifically. Okay, but here's what I'm talking about. Take a look. See how there's hair that's being brought up? It's being brought up. I had visitors over recently. It's not getting sucked up by the nozzle. It's not doing it. And I don't even think it's like there's anything wrong with, it's not like it needs a brush roll. Okay, 1 second. It's that there's just not enough airflow. There's just not enough. It's enough to do bare floors, it's not enough to do area rugs. It's too bad, because the rugs are nice down. The thing about this PortaPower is that it has a shakeout bag and no post-motor filter. I think there might be... yeah, there's a foam filter in here. But it just... the place smells dusty, unfortunately. So overall, I would give this a, let's see, out of 10 stars for New York City. I would say as a vacuum cleaner, for its market, which is a portable, small canister, handheld canister. For longevity, I mean, like, it's not going to fail. It's going to last decades. The Hoover's not going to die. I'm going to end up selling it or giving it away. Or maybe I'll keep it my entire life. Who knows? I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I'd say a 6 out of 10. I like the Auric Buster B more. What would I give it for a New York apartment living? Probably a 5 out of 10. Just because it's a lot to put in the closet, and it is not easily understood by non-vacuum people.